Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and this week I want to try answering some questions that I commonly get from customers about when is the right time to take down their hummingbird or Oriole feeders. So we definitely will see increased activity at our hummingbird feeders in late summer, early fall, and that's the young of year, also joining the adults at the feeder. And at the end of summer, as we transition to fall, the angle of the sun and the changes in day length will trigger changes in hormones, and that'll help trigger the beginning of fall migration, and that will start in the northernmost part of both our hummingbird species, that's ruby-throated hummingbird here in Michigan, as well as orioles, mostly Baltimore orioles here in Michigan. And at the beginning of fall, the young of year may be joined by migrants coming from the northern part of the species territories as they move south. So I do want to stress that leaving feeders up in the fall will not keep hummingbirds or orioles from migrating south. The bird's hormones control that behavior. And again, those are influenced by angle of the sun, changes in day length. And so by leaving our feeders up in the fall, we are supplying helpful resources to fuel their journeys along with any native plant species that may be blooming. For the ruby-throated hummingbird, the males may leave in late summer before females and young. I can tell you right now in early September, I still have males and female ruby-throated hummingbirds coming to my feeders. And what you want to do is leave your feeders up for at least 2 weeks after you see your last kind of normal visiting hummingbirds. If you don't see them for a day or two, start counting and leave them up for 2 weeks. And in that way, you're supporting any late stragglers, migrants that may be coming through. Along the west coast and southern coast of the United States and in our southwestern states, some species of hummingbirds do remain throughout the winter. So it's fine to, in those areas, keep your hummingbird feeders up year-round. Just make sure you continue to clean and refill them regularly. In Michigan, ruby-throated hummingbirds have been observed early April to November, but most often you'll find them in late April into maybe mid-October. The birds remember the locations where they've found resources, and so and they'll return year after year. So having your feeders up in the fall and in the early spring will definitely help support those migrating birds and attract more birds to your backyard. I also want to encourage you to plant native wildflowers and try to pick species with tubular flower shapes that bloom across the growing season. In particular, late season blooming wildflowers for our area that support hummingbirds include the gerardias in the genus Agellinus, the false foxgloves in the genus Areolaria, the campanulas, so common names include harebell and bellflower. Turtlehead is another great one to plant. Jewelweed, the lobelias, so great blue lobelia or cardinal flower, as well as bee balm or horse mint. So species in the genus Monarda are great native wildflowers to have in your landscape for late season hummingbird support. And then for Baltimore Orioles, migration may begin as early as July as fledglings become independent and the adults begin molting their flight and body feathers. Migration peaks in August and September and tends to ebb around mid-October. So again, for the Orioles, if you could leave up your feeders an extra week or two after you see your regular visitors, you are helping to support migrants coming through. And you're also, it's fine to reduce the amount of jelly you're feeding, but still have some out. And you're also likely to support species like house finches and gray catbird. And I've also seen my hummingbirds using the Oriole feeders and going after the jelly and the juices around the jelly. So again, keeping feeders up into the fall is just fine. You just want to make sure you're keeping the food fresh and clean. And by doing so, you're helping to support fall migration as well as your normal summer visitors. I hope that helps you decide what to do with your feeders. And again, I encourage you to take a look at your landscapes and find good native plants that help support both hummingbirds and orioles. So plant tubular flowers and trees and shrubs with desirable fruit, like the dogwoods and raspberries for the orioles. Have a good week.